Moving on to the fabric presentation, we group our fabrics into 3 distinct collections. We have our basic collection, which is noted by the black header cards. We have our seasonal collection, which is noted by the charcoal header cards, and our performance collection, which is noted by these blue header cards. The black header cards, our core basic fabrics, are always available. They live in the presentation season after season. Whites, blues, lavender, black, they're always available to your customers, and you never need to worry about selling a basic fabric that's not available. We also have these charcoal header cards, which are more seasonally relevant, fashion, fun. They're meant to live in the presentation for 2 to 4 months. I send a weekly fabric update email against these fabrics so you always know what's available. You can also always double check a fabric status on your sizing application. For our blue header performance collection swatch cards, these fabrics are really special and unique to us. We're the only people in the world to make one at a time made-to-measure performance wovens. These fabrics are 91% nylon, 9% spandex, and have a ton of special properties. They are wrinkle resistant, non-iron, easy care, moisture wicking, UV protection, odor repellent, and temperature regulating. Basically, the shirt of the future. We also have a ton of fabrics that are marked in the upper right corner as wrinkle resistant in both the basic and seasonal collections. If a fabric is marked as wrinkle resistant, then it is still 100% cotton. The fabric has just been pre-cured and then the shirts have been cut and sewn. So it's not like they've been dipped or baked in anything. It is not a hot shirt. They're extremely breathable and very popular. We also have a whole range of fabrics that are marked as wrinkle resistant stretch at the top that are not true performance. These are 97% cotton and 3% lycra, so they have a little bit of stretch and give to them, but they're still predominantly cotton. One thing to keep in mind on both the wrinkle-resistant stretch and wrinkle-resistant fabrics is that they are wrinkle-resistant and not wrinkle-free or non-iron. So it's much more about the performance while your customer is wearing it versus being able to pull it out of the wash and not have to touch it up at all. They might have to touch it up a little bit, but it will perform and look crisp throughout the day. You'll also see that the majority of our swatch cards are marked as dress and sport at the top, and that's because that's how we see most guys dressing today. Most of the fabrics in the presentation can be dressed up or dressed down, depending on the modeling your customer chooses. But you'll see that we also have a whole range of fabrics that are marked as luxe at the top, and these are at the highest end of what we do. We print the fabric mill that all of these fabrics come from. They're all Italian fabrics from Thomas Mason, Albini, and Canclini, and really at the top of the line of the presentation. On each swatch card, you're going to find a ton of important information, both for your customer and the order process. On each swatch card, in the upper left corner, you're going to find the fabric number. You're then, in the upper right corner, are going to find if it has a special property or if it's from an Italian mill or any additional information about this cloth. At the bottom of the card, you're going to find the fabric name, the fabric number again, and then the tier. So for example, this is tier 4B. As a reminder, we have a tiered pricing system. The opening price point is tier 1A at $98 and goes up to tier 4C at $275. What's amazing about the fabric presentation is that there are basics and fancies at 1A and basics and fancies at 4C. So there really is something for every customer in the presentation. I'd encourage you, whenever you have a little bit of free time, to explore the presentation. There's a ton of modern prints, geometrics, traditional patterns, and a ton of basic work shirts for whatever your customer might need. When instructing your customers on care for the shirts, we recommend dry cleaning them or cold washing them at home and letting them hang dry. That being said, thousands of guys launder the shirts. I hear everything. I never get complaints on shrinkage. We don't use a harsh fusible in the collars, cuffs, and plackets like a lot of other shirt makers do that cause them to shrink up a lot. So if they are dried on high heat, the most shrinkage a guy should experience is about 1%. Not perceivable to most guys, but we still don't really recommend it. On the performance swatches, the blue header cards, we recommend only cold washing at home and letting them hang dry because it is a synthetic material. No dry cleaning, no laundering, and no direct heat applied on the performance fabrics. As crazy as it can sound, it's a synthetic material, and if direct heat is applied, the shirt could combust. If your customer feels compelled to iron the shirt, they can through a barrier like a towel or a pillowcase and by putting the iron on the coolest, gentlest nylon synthetic setting.